Welcome back to the Citizen channel. I hope you're all staying safe, and we're going to have a match review today. Sorry about the voice, guys. I'm like, we go to these games, especially the away games. I've probably sort of lost my voice by about half time. I was trying to have a chat to someone I knew on the concourse, and I couldn't even hear myself speaking. Never mind, he could hear me. Anyway, let's talk about Peterborough 0, Manchester City 2. Yes, on the 1st of March 2022, FA Cup 5th round. Yes, history repeating itself 41 years later. Yours truly was there. I think I spotted Ian Cheeseman, but I think he was doing an interview for the BBC, so I didn't have a chance to say hello and shake his hand, but hey, these things happen. 7:15 p.m. kickoff, of course, at the Western Home Stadium. So we're going to have a chat about that today. Just a very brief chat on my little personal visit there and what I thought of 41 years later. Not that I can remember much about the first time I went, in all fairness. So yeah, please, if you are new to the channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notification. These vlogs are coming out. Of course, if you can give us a thumbs up, if you do enjoy what I try and do on here, City past, present and forever, that would be very grateful. Leave all your comments, all your memories if you were there. Give us your comments on the night and give us your memories. It doesn't matter, whether it's about 41 years ago. Just keep in touch. That'd be absolutely brilliant. Right, yeah, big programme, £5. Yeah, but I mean, you've got to make some money, haven't they, guys? So I will be doing a full review of that. There's a lot of adverts in it, but why not? Make money while you can, which is absolutely fantastic. I've nothing against Peterborough trying to squeeze out every last ounce of money they can get. It was interesting. Obviously, it's not the greatest looking ground. You can't walk right round it, which is a disappointment. That's what I liked about Norwich the other week. Could just walk right round the ground. Obviously, Southampton was different because of COVID restrictions, etc. But yeah, you couldn't get right round it. It's not a ground you can anyway. It's quite difficult. There's a lot of housing nearby. But yeah, it was a good night. Awful travel. It was okay getting down there, but obviously the A1 and M1s were all shut coming back, so the coach had to follow various different routes. So probably took about 45 minutes longer, but it seemed a hell of a long time. I got back home. It was a 7:15 kickoff, don't forget. It would have been even worse. It would have been 8 o'clock, but I actually got home about 2:10 in the morning. Obviously, I had to go back to the Etihad first to pick the car up. So it probably would have been a bit earlier, obviously, if I didn't have that to do, because obviously it's the other side of Manchester to where I am. Anyway, let's get on with the game, guys. Western Home Stadium. City team, I got 7 right. Yeah, obviously I put Carson in there. I thought I'd give Carson a game. I was quite glad he played Ederson in the end. I thought Walker would play, but he wasn't even on the bench, was he? I don't think, guys. I've not even looked at that. No Walker. So there may be a problem that I'm not aware of. I've not had a chance to look at anything this morning before I've done this, obviously. Stones, again, wasn't in the team. And McAtee had played the night before, so there was no chance of him going in the team. So I got 7 anyway, which I was reasonably happy with. So we had Ederson, Cancelo, Diaz, Aki, Zinchenko, Ferner, Gundogan made captain, of course. Wonderful stuff to make him captain. I thought that was going to happen anyway. Foden, Grealish, Mahrez and Jesus. So certainly a capable team, although 2 or 3 of those players perhaps haven't been getting the minutes, so need a little bit of time, I suppose. Subs, yeah, very strong bench as you'd expect. Carson, Slicker, Stones, Sterling, Laporte, Rodrigo, De Bruyne and Bernardo. So only no place for any kids apart from Slicker on the bench. Andy Madley was in charge, however you pronounce his name. Probably Madley's probably more appropriate. It was okay. I'm not going to go too much. Right, the match report, brief match report before we do the player ratings. Yeah, not a great deal. I mean, I didn't run out of. I started doing this before when I got home, so it's I do this and I thought, well, I can go and have a kip and get up and do this vlog. So I didn't want to start writing up my stuff this morning, so I did it when I got in at 2:10 last night. So these are brief match report on my memories plus help. Of course, I've just went onto the City site just to have a familiarise myself with times of things and stuff like that. We were in the end at Peterborough, so it was an okay view, but you sort of lose what's happening at the other end. And they do have big floodlights, but one of them wasn't on for some reason. Obviously, they just had a little smaller floodlight at the side, so the ball did tend to get lost if it went. Well, for me anyway, my old eyes, it got lost a bit if it went up in the air. So quite funny. 10 minutes, yeah. Fuchs I think it's Fuchs I pronounce, had a great chance. Left Aki got caught. Yeah, he didn't have his greatest game, Aki, did he, coming back? But And that's how it is. Left behind as Ederson did well in the near post because the shot was deflected. I think when it did come in, Ederson managed to get it out for a corner. But so that was the first chance for Peterborough, really. 17 minutes, yeah. Aki, as I said, who wasn't playing very well, was yellow carded. Very, very poor tackle. I mean, is that if anything, City were doing the poorer tackles than Peterborough. You expect this sort of lower league, no disrespect, but them to make the strong tackles, and it was City who were making the clumsy strong tackles. So he was yellow carded for a poor tackle on 17 minutes. So that would have stymied him for the rest of the game. 30 minutes, the first proper City effort. 30 minutes, first proper City effort. Gundogan sent a shot just wide. Obviously, it looked quite close to us. I've not had a chance to watch it back yet, but at least Gundogan was trying to get in and around the box and do something. And say it was a hard fought first half. 41 minutes, it was again Gundogan involved again, but it was just too high as the Mahrez cross. I mean, obviously we're looking for that 6'6" centre forward, aren't we? But Mahrez, Gundo couldn't get high enough for a Mahrez cross, so it didn't really trouble the keeper or the goal. So there was really. I don't think there was that much more in that 45 minutes. There may have been an odd half chance for Peterborough as well, but I can't remember much. A very lacklustre first 45, as has been the case in 3 or 4 games quite recently. And Peterborough thoroughly deserved to go in honours eve, and all credit to them, and they were clapped off by the fans, and no wonder. Changes at half time. Tactical? No. Injury wise, of course. How these injuries will pan out, I'm not too sure, especially with Diaz. He's got a sort of dead leg, which doesn't sound much, does it? But I know these can lead to a few games off that I know in the past from my lack of medical knowledge. So Laporte and Stones came on. We did look better with Laporte and Stones once we weathered the first 5 or 10 minutes of that second half. Diaz and Aki both went off. 48 minutes, yeah, as I said, we struggled. They did I think it was the first of the game, they did a sort of long throw and it caught us on the hop. We've never been very good at that. And usually with Stones is quite capable, but we struggled a bit and we should have really been a goal down. But the ball sort of dribbled wide from a scuff shot from the Peterborough player. But it was a great chance for Peterborough to take a goal lead, and all hell would have broke loose. 50 minutes, another cross for a 6'6" striker from us, and Jesus just can't get high enough from a Cancelo cross. 60 minutes final. This is what was going to win it, mate, guys, wasn't it? A bit of magic from Mahrez, who didn't look into any great trouble. He was well shepherded out there at the edge of the box, but he just sort of seemed to know what he was doing. It wasn't pot luck. He just seemed to calmly thread it through the defender's legs, and of course the goalkeeper was unsighted because of this, and he had no chance. He was just left flat-footed. So that was 1-0. You more or less think it's perhaps sort of over then, don't you? 60 minutes. 67 minutes, well, it's 2-0. It's probably definitely over then. A terrific Foden. We've all seen the Foden crossball. It looked great from where we were. You had to think, was Grealish offside, but we don't have VAR, and I assume there's been no complaints about it. Superb run through the middle from Grealish, which I think Pep wants from Grealish more and more, and I think that's what we'll see from Grealish going forward, depending on what happens with certain other transfers, etc. But superb ball from Fulham, superbly took down, very Mahrez-esque from Grealish. We know he's got a lot of skill, and coolly planted it, probably beneath the keeper's or between his legs, from what I could see. I've not looked in great detail at it, but a cool, calm goal. Great to see for Grealish. A fantastic Messi-like Foden cross, of course. 67 minutes, yeah. A quiet Jesus fires at the keeper. He collects that one easily. Jesus didn't have too much of a great game. Ferner gets his mandatory booking on 70 minutes. I'll have a chat on him later. With Mr. Brennan was quite impressed. I was impressed, but not quite as impressed as Mr. Brennan on Ferner last night. 72 minutes, a good save by Edison after a neat turn and a shot by the sub Marriott. Yeah, so it could have easily been 2-1. You say we could have easily been 1-0 down. An early save from Edison in the first half. It could have easily been 2-1 and Peterborough could have been back in it. 88 minutes, Grealish sees an effort tips over, but the keeper was always comfortable on that. 90 minutes, it should have been free as a stretch in Laporte sort of side foots it or pokes it wide, basically. A great back header across the 6-yard box from John Stones, which Diaz and Stones have both been good at over recent weeks. Great header back. And Laporte just couldn't get his leg in. It was someone behind Laporte, I can't remember who it was, who may, if Laporte hadn't got to it. I'm not too sure. But yeah, it should have really been 3-0. And plus 3 minutes, and Foden again just headed, but it was well wide and over in injury time. So that was it. 2-0 was enough to beat Peterborough. All credit to him. So Peterborough left the game pride intact. And City, yeah, sort of did. No one's got a real downer on it. We did what we had to do. We needed a couple of quality moments to win the game. We played okay as a team unit, but don't forget it's a team that's not been playing together that much or very much changed 11. I think both sets of fans are reasonably happy. So that's all you can ask, really, isn't it? That's all we can ever ask for. Some key stats. Peterborough, 5 shots, 3 on target. City, 23 shots, 5 on target. Possession was 72% for City. Pass completion, 60% for Peterborough, quite low, which probably is reasonable for that level, the way they're playing at the moment. City was 87, again, one of our lower ones again, so not brilliant. Right, the rating, Stuart Brennan's in charge of the MAM. I'm only going to start with a 6 on this, guys. I wasn't overly impressed overall with the game. So my standard score for a City player is 6. If he did better, he'll get more. If I thought he didn't perform as well as he should, he'll get less. And if he was spot on and did an okay game, he'll just get the standard 6. Right, let's go to Edison. Stewart first. Vital save from Fuchs at 0-0, it was. And Smodics to keep it 2-0, it was. Busier than usual. Yeah, I mean, much busier than some Premier League games. So Stuart's giving me 7. I can't disagree with that on those basis of the saves myself. So I'll give him a 7 as well. It wasn't the greatest pitch, by the way. Obviously, the pitch, I think Pep mentioned the pitch, but you have to play to the conditions, and I thought he did very well, Edison. Cancelo relish switching to a less muddy side, said Stuart. Yeah, it was probably a tale of 2 hours for the sides of the pitch, wasn't it? And it showed in his improved game. Yeah, let's give him a 7. Yeah, I'll give him a 6.5. I'll give him half a point extra. I don't remember that much. Say it's quite hard when you're there and you're in an end and you're watching the game. As I say, with the knackered floodlight, I'm not going to say I had the greatest sort of view at the other end in the first half, but yeah, I thought. Yeah, he was pretty useless on his right-hand side, which is supposed to be his best side. And I think that's probably because he kept running into Mahrez. But again, as most players did in the second half, we played much better, and he did as well. So Stuart give him a 7, I'll give him a 6.5. Diaz, strong enough, says Stuart, in the 45 minutes he played, but the cross he tried was abysmal. Yeah, I can't remember which one was that. I remember a lot of balls going over the stand. He must have lost about 3 balls with shots. I don't remember that cross, or some dodgy crosses anyway. Stuart's give him a 6. I can only give him a 6. Mate, I don't know when he got the injury. I don't know when he got the dead leg, but I can't be unfair to him on the basis of that first half performance. Nathan Ake, I can probably be a little bit unfair with this guy, unfortunately, who I like a lot, as you know. Nearly caught out by Fuchs and looked uncertain until subbed at half time, said that silly yellow card. Stuart's given him a 5. I'll give him a 5.5. I almost give him a 5, but I thought I'm just took into account the fact of he's not playing, and it's not the easiest game to come into and the easiest pitch to play on as a sort of silky centre half, if you like. He likes to play a little bit as well. But certainly one of his poorest displays in the City shirt for me. Alexander Zinchenko, well, what can we say? The captain for the night, absolutely wonderful reception from City and Peterborough fans. That was great. Had a distracted first half. Harry did. He didn't settle into it very quickly, but Stuart said he settled down to play his part in the win. Yeah, so he's given a 6. I'm going to give a bog on 6 as well. I'm not going to get carried away and sentimental about it. It was a scrappy start, which is thoroughly expected, but it was fine and came into it more as the game went on, and hopefully it helped him as well playing this match, which is all what it's all about. Fernandino, the master, still got it, says Stuart. Solid intervention, stroking the ball around and running the show. Stuart's given him a 6. Stuart's given him an 8. I give him a 6.5. I thought it was okay, but again, the first half, I thought it was caught out a little bit. I thought it was struggling a bit with the pitch. I thought it was struggling a little bit with Peterborough's physicality. I mean, he is physical, Fernandino, he is. And he got booked as well, but that was later on. But yeah, I give him a 6.5. But yeah, I wasn't as enamoured as Stuart. But if I watched it back, perhaps I would be. But you'll probably know better than me, guys, if you watched it and the chance to really analyse the game. Ilkay Gundogan came close to 2 first half goals. He did, probably our only real threat, and was always trying to make things happen. So Stuart's given him a 7. Yeah, I'll give him a 6.5. He was a danger in and around without actually scoring a goal, but I can't disagree much with Stuart there. Phil Foden burst into life in the second half to claim 2 assists. He did and secure the quarter-final spot. That's what we need. So Stuart's given him an 8. I've given him a high score. I've given him 7.5, which is my highest of the day. He never gave up, and he's rewarded with a couple of cracking assists, and I've even seen Peterborough fans praising him on social media. So yeah, even though he wasn't, I said, none of us were really at it. None of the City boys really at it first half. Yeah, he was certainly rewarded in that second half and carried on and kept grafting, and it worked for him a couple of times, of course. Riyad Mahrez, another fabulous finish to break the deadlocks of Stuart. Like he liked being out of the mud too. So yeah, again, first half, I say him and Cancelo up that right hand side. I didn't think performed that greatly first half. Stuart's given him a 7. I'll give him a 7, of course, helped by the goal. Fantastic. As I said, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He just looked as though he placed it through the defender's legs and saw the goalie was unsighted. So brilliant move. I will give him that reward. But as I say, a bit like the others, he had a pretty average first 30 minutes, but he grew into it as the first half progressed and played pretty well the second. Jesus, yeah, another one that's a bit like Aki, another one who's not getting many minutes, and another one who struggled because of it. I mean, back in his old striking role, he looked, certainly the first half, he was up the other end, so didn't get much of a view, but I didn't sense he was involved that much. Stuart said he looked short of match practice, frustrated and frustrating. Yeah, I think that's probably the case. He wanted to prove something, doesn't he? When you can't get the opportunities, it is frustrating. I can thoroughly understand that. Stuart's only giving me 5. I'll give him a 5 as well. He gets my lowest mark because I just thought he was for Jesus. He wasn't even a nuisance that I could see. He just wasn't at it tonight. But again, there is a little bit of reasoning behind that because of his lack of games recently. Jack Grealish, Stuart said, had just been neat and effective until his class showed with his goal. So let's give him a 7. Again, I'm going to give him a 7 as well because at the end of the day, it's 1-0. Anything can happen. And a superb run through, well-timed, brilliant run. And he actually killed it and laid it off and put it under the advancing keeper. Fantastic goal from Jack Grealish. And in all fairness, he'd looked neat and tidy before that. I think as Stuart said there, he gets the ball. He's very rarely going to lose it. And all right, it's simple balls to someone else. But yeah, that sometimes City needs someone who's not going to lose it. And we do lose it quite a bit at the moment. So yeah, I'll give him a 7 like Stuart. Thoroughly deserved. Again, another player who's not been getting many minutes recently. Subs John Stones for Diaz at half time. Stuart said enhance the attack strangely and give him a 7. Yeah, I'll give him a 6.5. I can't give him a 7 for just half a game. He should have started. Should have had an assist at the end, which would have been nice, and he should have started the game for me. But he did. He played very, very well, as I say. Apart from that first 5 or 10 minutes of the second half. Played very well alongside the last guy, Aymeric Laporte, of course, for Aki at half time. Much more solid, says Stuart. He's given him a 7. I'll give him a 6.5, exactly the same as Stones. Not sure how he missed the goal. I probably should have knocked half a mark off for that. But he's not a striker, is he? Who is? But all fine. That second half with Stones. And obviously, Diaz is iffy. That could be our starting centre-half partnership for the derby on Sunday, couldn't it? Stones and Laporte. We will see. Man of the match, yeah, I'm going to give it Foden. It's one of those games where no one was really outstanding, but Foden just did enough to edge shoulders above all the other City players, in my opinion. So we'll give him the man of the match. Overall record for what it's worth. Played Peterborough twice in the FA Cup. 1-2, drawn none, lost none, and we're 3 up against Zilch against 3-0 to the better. So there you go. There's our overall record. Opponents going forward, Peterborough, another day. They've had a couple of goals. I thought they played very, very well. Excellent first half. Excellent first 10 minutes of the second half. They really came out into the second half and really had a go, which I thought was cracking tactics from the manager. Don't let City settle. Let's have a quick go. After that, yeah, they did go a bit quiet. They didn't do too much. In the league, they've just won 1 now, I think, of the last 19 or 20 games. They head into Saturday struggling, 8 points from safety. Rock bottom of the Championship, of course. 11 matches without a win. They just need to get some points. And to be honest with you, no disrespect, they played very, very well last night. All credit to them. They come out with the heads held high. But it's going to be a big task ahead, despite this brave display. to remain in the Championship. But fingers crossed for him anyway, because I say it was a good night on and off the pitch, and Peterborough fans were excellent last night as well. City, well, another where we took 45 minutes to get going, but when you've got a lot of changes to the team, it's no real surprise really. Pep did comment about the pitch, but just fair enough. But you don't expect any favours from this level. And also, perhaps they don't have the capabilities to keep the pitches nice and neat as some other clubs do. I mean, even our pitch was struggling a bit, wasn't it, a year or two ago? And we've got all the money in China. Yeah. So, yeah, it was a struggle at first 45. They're all seasoned players, but they're not exactly played together unless they're doing practice matches at behind closed doors at the CFA, of course, in training. But if they don't play together that often, it does take time to gel, and we did take time to get into this. There's no lack of effort from anybody, perhaps a little lack of quality at times. But I say, once we have that first 5 or 10 minutes in the second half, at the end of the day, 2-0 was probably spot on for a result. If we'd won 3 or 4-0, it might have been unfair on Peterborough. So, stubborn opposition, and we did what we had to do, and we move on to the next game. So please join me. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? I both dread and look forward to this one, as I do with most derby games these days. I certainly used to dread them many, many years ago, and now I do look forward with optimism, but obviously at the moment it's a little bit of misplaced optimism because of our current record. But we'll chat about that anyway. Join me for the preview of the United game. And also the History Boys feature will be out there very, very soon. A derby back on the 20th of March 1993, where United sat second behind Norwich City, and we were sat seventh, still with the hopes. Mr. Reid was still hoping for European qualification, but I think he was high hopes for that one, but I don't know where he got those. We were well behind the qualification spot. I think we were 15 points behind the team. We were third with about 10 games left. So, there wasn't many games left anyway. So I don't know where he got that view from. But anyway, interesting game, because we wanted to dink United's title hopes, of course, after the season before. They'd been pipped to the post by Leeds. So we wanted them to get pipped again, didn't we? Because we didn't want them to win the Premier League. It'd been a while. We didn't want to win it. So more on that in the History Boys anyway. And of course, please tune in for my City United odds show. Let's get some more money for charity after a couple of iffy games, let's say. I'm on a run of 2 failures at the moment, so I don't very rarely get 3 failures. So I couldn't pick a worse game to go at, though, could I really, in all fairness? Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know your comments, let me know your player ratings, let me know anything you want about last night's game. If you were there, did you enjoy it? All that, it'd be great to hear from you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Everybody do the rest of the day. Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. To meet here again on the Citizen channel. I only ask one thing, don't I? Come on, City. Stay safe, Blues. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.